Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Return to the planet of the apes.
Welcome to another episode of Go Ape Podcast. I'm your host, Jon Randall. With me as always,
Brandon Gehringer. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Hello, Brandon.
What's going on?
You look like you're poised to do something.
Nope.
All right.
I have nothing planned.
How was your week?
It was fine. How was yours?
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we need to talk about something.
What do we need to talk about?
We need to talk about...
Planet of the Apes.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's not off the top.
Let's go ape.
I'm going to go ape over digital copies of movies.
Okay. Explain to our listeners what you're talking about.
All right. I'm really flip-flopping back and forth on
You
this.
are a flip-flopper.
Now, let's start a year ago. Xbox announces Xbox One, and all your games will be downloaded to said system on some sort of cloud. And everybody pitched a fit and thought it was the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. And then recently, I've decided I'm tired of Blu-rays. I'm tired of DVDs. I want all my shit on some server somewhere where I can just watch it streaming.
Because you're tired of having the disc.
Yep. It's just clutter. It's all it is. It's clutter.
And it takes you a minute. You have to get up and go get it and physically put it into the machine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And here's the thing. My Blu-ray player is either my PS3 or PS4. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to have to get up and go put it into that system anyways...
And you have to use a controller.
Why not just go ahead and fire up like a streaming service on one of those systems that already has my movie on it? Mm-hmm. Save me the time of having to put it in there.
I guess the only way that would be different is that a lot of Blu-rays have extra features that they're not going to have on there.
That you also watch maybe one time.
True.
Maybe one time.
True. But that would be a valid point.
But like on Vudu, as we've recently discovered... when you buy, like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy, it comes with, like, 3 featurettes also.
That's cool.
So some of these digital ones now also come with featurettes.
What if you don't have the internet? What if you develop a raging meth addiction and you can no longer afford the internet?
Okay, well, Flixster, which is one of the streaming services, offers a service where once my movie is stored on their website, their cloud or whatever, I can download it to my computer. Same thing with Vudu. I don't know if you've noticed because you've just now started using it. Mm-hmm. You can download the movie to your system.
Yeah, but you need the internet.
Well, yeah, but if you do this stuff early on,
before your meth addiction,
before the meth addiction, then you've still got them.
Okay.
Now, here's the problem, Brandon, and this is what I've recently discovered in transferring. I've transferred 24 movies over to Vudu, and I've got about 13 movies on iTunes at this point. Okay. Here's the problem. I'm buying these films. Okay.
Yep.
I buy the Blu-ray version of Captain America. Comes with a digital copy.
Right.
Why am I buying a Blu-ray version of a movie, but they're giving me a standard definition copy for the digital version?
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's dumb.
It's real dumb.
So they started remedying that. You buy Blu-rays, as I bought Dawn of the Planet of the Apes on yesterday.
We're Planet of the Apes podcast.
Yes, we are. Number 1 in the universe.
Correct.
I bought Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It comes with a digital HD copy of the film. Terrific.
Yeah.
I loaded it onto my computer, which, by the way, it makes you load onto Ultraviolet. Sometimes they give you a choice.
Right.
You can do Ultraviolet, you can do Flixster, you can do iTunes, but not always do you get a choice. Sometimes you have to use a certain service.
Correct.
That's another problem.
Agreed. There's not uniform.
Yes.
There's a lot of movies I have that I was like, nope. I'm only doing Ultraviolet movies.
Yep.
So these other ones that hooked up with a different service in the early days of Blu-ray to do this, they're not as popular as some of these other ones.
It's a whole nother problem at this point.
Yeah.
But now, that said, okay, I took my copy of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and I linked it through Ultraviolet to my Flixster account versus doing it in iTunes. Okay, I had the option to go either way.
That's a good reason. iTunes is hell.
Well, the reason I did Flixster was I was like, well, if I do that, I can watch it on the computer, and since I can link Flixster to my Ultraviolet, which links to Vudu, I can play it on the TV.
Seems complicated.
I can play the movie on television in HD. Okay,
your original goal.
Yes. If I try to watch it through Flixster, only SD, It's an HD digital copy, but because their service hasn't transferred an HD version, I can only watch it in SD.
And who wants to watch it in standard definition?
If I can download it to my computer, I can only download it in SD.
Pass.
What is the point of me having an HD digital copy if, once again, these services are limiting me
That's true.
to SD versions?
But I guess they want you to use it through a version like it's wordplay.
So as quick as yesterday, I was on the digital bandwagon. I'm back off it today because it's still got too many
Wow,
problems.
this is really flip flopping quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's still got too many problems.
It does have a lot of problems. And I was able to do some of my movies, but not all of them because they're not all using a uniform system, which is fine. There shouldn't be a monopoly, but it would be good if they gave you one code and then they gave you all the options to use that code on any of the different download services.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Flickster, not only when you play movies, you stream them through their website, okay? Mm-hmm. But when you download them, you get a Flickster app that you put on your laptop.
Right.
That lets you download them to your computer. And you have to play them through that app when you're offline. Okay. Well, yesterday, somehow, 8 of my movies I had downloaded randomly just disappeared.
Okay, they're gone.
I went to re-download Man of Steel, which fortunately lets you download in either HD or SD. You can pick. Mm-hmm. Okay. Went to download Man of Steel again yesterday. Random message. You've exceeded the number of times you can download this film, so now I can't download it anymore.
What? That's crazy.
It's madness, man.
And then the next problem, which we have not touched, is the expiration dates on these downloadable copies. Why is there an expiration date? If they still offer the movie, why do these...
completely stupid.
Yeah, it's like 2000, okay, all right. So you buy a Blu-ray, you buy a DVD, they had these before. And it's got the service. You don't use it right off the bat. You finally decide to do it. You grab the thing. It's expired. Why?
Yep.
What's the point of that? Doesn't make any sense unless it's got to do something with some sort of licensing deal.
It's completely stupid.
It's trash.
Well, let me tell you this, and this is a compliment coming out to Universal Pictures. Okay. You know, when I first got my laptop, I went recently because on Black Friday I bought a 2 terabyte drive to transfer stuff off my old desktop.
Correct.
I grabbed all my old movies that were WMV files, went to transfer them to this laptop. They all started asking for the code. What's the code for this movie? It wouldn't let me just transfer WMV files.
Right.
Which, years ago, I thought would be the easier way because you could transfer them versus iTunes.
Right.
Well, now, of course, iTunes, you can throw everything on the cloud and then pull it down on another computer. So that would have been the better way to go. So I emailed Universal Pictures because I was looking on their page, their support page. Mm-hmm. And I had the Jurassic Park trilogy in HD. Okay,
mistake number 1.
I sent them an email saying, "Look, I had all these movies on my old desktop. I can't transfer them to my laptop because it's asking for codes. Of course, I used the codes from my old desktop. They're not working." Good on Universal Pictures. The next morning when I woke up, 3 separate emails, a code for each film. They just sent me a brand new code.
That's nice.
Yeah,
it's like you got a reply back in it somewhat.
And not only that,
lead time.
Universal Pictures is one of the companies that does Ultraviolet and iTunes. So I was able to take that same code
and use it
and plug it into both. So now I can stream those movies on my television and I have them saved in my iTunes account.
You got them all over the place.
Well,
they're going to come out of your
But what I'm saying is, why can't all movie companies do that?
Jerks.
Like, why do they have to be like, we're only going to give our stuff to Ultraviolet? Which I'm noticing a lot of Warner Brothers is doing that. Like, they're only going Ultraviolet. Or some of them, like Sony, tries to make you get their own streaming service.
Sony tries to be their own beast on everything they do. They always have. And the thing about the service thing is it's just like the old HD, DVD, Blu-ray fight. They don't know which service is the big gun. They had, a while ago, they didn't know which one was going to,
come out on top.
Yeah, which one's going to come out on top? Possibly go over the top if they need to. And I think hopefully we've gone in with the right one, and this Vudu is going to be the top dog, I guess. And that's the Walmart one, right?
I think Vudu is owned by Walmart. But like I said, at least with Ultraviolet, ultimately is what it is.
Yeah.
Because Ultraviolet links to multiple services.
That's good then.
So Ultraviolet is really the main thing. It's either Ultraviolet or it's iTunes, basically.
Well, let's do Ultraviolet.
So Ultraviolet will link to Vudu, and it will link to Flickster, and it will cross-link those accounts, which is how I've got all the movies I had put on Flickster in my Vudu account right now. Is because they're all transferring through Ultraviolet.
And every time I think of Ultraviolet, I think of that movie with Mila, what's her name? Jolovich, and how terrible it was.
It was a bad film.
Was it called Ultraviolence? Violent?
No, I think you had it. I think it was Ultraviolet, like the color.
So every time I think of that service, I think of that movie. I think about how terrible it is.
It was shit.
Then I want to punch myself in the nuts. Both fists, just hitting nuts.
That's my new thing when I'm angry and stuff.
Yeah, you just obliterate your nuts.
Just take both fists and just destroy my genitalia.
You're not gonna have any kids, probably.
No, probably not. God, I hope not.
It's a shame.
Yeah, so that's been my battle over the last couple days.
What a fight! Wow, what a warrior you are to get through this.
And it's just frustrating, man. Like the whole digital thing is frustrating.
I see you look a little grayer today. Your hair's looking a little grayer. Like you've someone sucked out a couple levels out of you. You went from level 2 to level 1.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well,
so that's it for our viewers. That's me weighing in on digital copies of things.
And used to be really against it at all.
Yeah. And then I decided I wanted to go to it. I was like, this is the way I want to go. And now
we're running out of room.
And now I've gone back to this is ridiculous. Like,
well, we hope that there's no post-apocalyptic world we're living in where there's no more internet. All this stuff is gone. You could have bartered with a Blu-ray disc, to some mutant dweller in the future. Who
needs a coaster?
Yeah. He's like, he could use it to like look into the shave or a signal. Yeah, much like the way that the apes do in the Planet of the Apes TV show.
In tinfoil and coconuts.
You could break it up and use it as a knife or a cutting utensil. So unfortunately, you're hurting yourself on post-apocalyptic currency for the future. So that's a mistake.
Well, that's okay.
You blew it. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and say. You blew it.
I got to be honest with you. In that kind of future, I'm probably not going to last long.
You'll probably be the first.
My name will quickly be changed to Piggy from Oppressors, and I'll be quickly murdered.
You'll quickly be eaten. You'll be in somebody's gut.
Yeah,
and then you'll be pooped out somewhere.
I got a lot of good meat. I got a lot of good marbling for my age.
Yeah,
marbling for my age.
Whoa. And then I'm
fat, you see.
Yeah, and you just had some fun too, didn't you, with your TV?
Yeah. Speaking of post-apocalyptic, we're on the brink of 2015.
We're in a time machine, is what we are in your
house. We're on the brink of 2015, and I just spent probably 25 minutes,
6 hours,
trying to adjust the antenna for my television so I can see the fucking football game while we're recording.
He has a HD antenna for his TV, correct? And you get D6 plus 2 channels.
Which is accurate.
Which is D6 plus 2. So that's gonna vary.
Yeah.
Depending on the weather as well as possibly.
Oh yeah. On an overcast day, tides, I may not get any
tides, moon cycles.
Yeah. Whether or not the blinds are open or shut,
or whether or not the blinds are done in a down direction or an up direction when they're shut.
I mean, there's all kinds of reflections of signals.
Of course, I sat back and had a good laugh at you, mainly because it's so funny to see you with a PS4 and a laptop and all this gizmo crud, techno crud is what I call it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're over there practically doing like a
rain dance.
Yeah, rain dance. That's exactly what I was about to say. A rain dance to try to get your TV to work so you can see the Panthers game. Well, it is Fox. That is your,
Well, it's fine. Yeah. Well, I ultimately don't even care about the Panthers.
Well, of course not.
Which nobody does.
No.
But I just wanted something on in the background so we can comment on.
Yeah, every once in a while we look over and enjoy the football.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very humorous to me. And then So, what else? We got anything else?
I just saw the score. It's 41-3. The Panthers are murdering the
Saints. They've learning how to play football.
I guess.
Took a couple years.
You know what's amazing to me is
they won't remember next week.
Is to see Cam Newton constantly celebrating in a game like this, and I'm like, dude,
you're 3.
Do you realize your team's won 3 games all year?
Yeah.
Your team's pathetically bad. Why don't you learn a little humility?
Exactly. And y'all celebrated a tie. You don't celebrate a tie, okay? That's pretty much saying we went into this game we went out of the game exactly the way we went into it.
I mean, learn some humility. What a jackass, man!
Yeah, he's a clown. What else? Anything else we got? Movies, nerddom, TV shows. Any good foods you've had recently?
No, I think.
Video games. We've been playing some video games, of course.
We have.
I picked up Destiny. I traded in a game and actually traded in.
Yay! We can play together.
Yep, we got Destiny. And
if any of our listeners play Destiny, send us your names on PlayStation. Yeah. PlayStation, and we'll play with you.
Yeah, and we're both streaming now on Twitch. Our games. No one's watching.
Yeah. Well, I've let's not say we're streaming. I streamed one time.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times. And if you're interested in watching me play, I'm Savage GM on Twitch,
and I'm Abe Randall,
and I play some games like Steam World Dig and Destiny,
Diablo.
Yeah, I've done some streaming of Diablo.
Don't be confused. Sometimes it's his wife.
Yeah.
If it looks like someone's dominating,
Yeah,
it's
it's
his
probably
wife
her.
playing.
Yeah, it's probably her. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. The baby is going to be here pretty much any day now.
Any moment.
Any moment the baby's going to be
I told
here.
your wife last night, get that baby out.
Well, she can keep it in there a little longer. 2 or 3 more years would be fine.
Jesus, that thing's going to come out with a full set of teeth and hair.
Yeah, I know. Pierce the ears. So yeah, any day now, I'll be going through that. And
Good luck.
yeah, the new baby will be here.
I'll be sleeping in when that happens. Think of that.
It's
going to happen to you in the middle. It's probably going to happen to you in the middle of the night. You'll have to go to the hospital,
might
and I'll be
not.
fast asleep in my warm bed.
Well,
Like-
I'll be witnessing the miracle of birth with my daughter. So I think in the history of time, and
No,
I think I'll have you trumped a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll see. When Chloe was born, did you cut the cord?
Yeah,
Now, are you dead this time?
it cuts
This-
very smoothly too. By the way,
This time, are you going to bite through it?
no, I won't bite through it, much like a conehead would.
I mean, you should try it. I'm just saying.
No.
It's an opportunity.
I will tell you that.
Are you guys going to keep the placenta? 'Cause some people cook those up.
That's all terrible.
Looks like an omelet.
No,
when you
that's
cook it up.
that's horrible. I will notice that I will say that when I cut the umbilical cord, I don't know if they're more than likely the scissors were super sharp, because they're not going to give you dull scissors. You're sitting there trying.
You got like safety scissors from kindergarten.
They
those
look
plastic
like
ones?
that, but they slice through something sweet. I was like, whoa! I thought it was going to be much tougher.
You should put your finger through there next, and just to see the sharpness.
Yeah, that ended up good. But yeah, it's going to happen again, and it's going to be amazing and incredible moment. And
Are you gonna cry?
oh yeah, I cried the first time, big time.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's just a rare moment, you know, when you hear that little cry come out of them. It's just it crushes you, and it's a great moment. It's not too many times do you cry for joy,
Right.
you know, in life. I don't think.
Well, I tell you what, Brady, you sold me. I'll be there. Call me. Call me. Tell your wife.
You'll be right beside
Tell
me.
your wife. I'll be right beside
Catcher's
you. I'm going
mitt.
to watch this miracle of birth.
Catcher's mitt.
You've sold me on it. I'm going to be standing right next to you, arm around your shoulder.
Catcher's mitt snorkel.
Microphone for our listeners.
Yeah.
I'll have it right down there so they can hear the head crowning.
Yeah, go eat baby.
And yeah,
Baby
go
birth.
eat baby.
Go eat baby birth is what we'll have.
That's what we'll have.
So no, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, and I know what to expect to some degree now. There's such an anxiety when you're sitting there that first time,
Right.
And the pushing of like for a straight hour was like one of the most brutal things I've ever seen anybody go through in my life. Because what happens is the nurses count, and they're like 1, 2, or they count down 10. 9, you know, like that, or they count up and down. You know, they kind of change around,
What hell?
and like they'll wait on a 1. You know, it'd be like 4, 5. Come on, 6. And I'm like, go! You know, like, count faster! Because my wife's like beat red over there trying to push, you know. And of course, at the time, I was playing a role-playing game on my phone. So, well,
Right.
it was boring for now.
Right.
And it was very brutal to watch. So I had some people ask me questions by email about a role-playing game I was playing, and so I was answering them while my baby was being born. And it's a moment of pride, I will say, and it gives me extreme, you know,
You mean that
credit.
people are coming to you for role playing advice?
Well, no, that I actually played a role-playing game in the middle of my daughter's birth. It was amazing. It's a badge of honor that, you know, I'm so dedicated to the hobby that I was literally answering questions and telling people what I was doing. It was a play-by-post online, and I was answering and telling stuff. And I actually told them I'm giving birth. I mean, you know, I'm playing right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, she's giving birth. But, yeah, so that's going to happen soon, and my life will be completely changed. Probably next year will be probably one of the biggest changes in my life.
Yep.
Other than that, for the Mutant Epoch, the role-playing game that I helped write for, in small doses, we got a new book that's out called The Mutant Bestiary 1. It's been very cool, very well received. It's a fantastic book.
Does it have any of your
No, it
monsters
doesn't have
in
any of my stuff in there yet. But he is going to be working on some. I got 2 new adventures hopefully coming out at the end of the year here, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully get me a little bit of money out of it. And this book has helped pick up some of my sales for my other 2 adventures. So, yeah, I'm very happy. And the Mutant Epoch Bestiary 1 is just an incredibly super full of art, horrible creatures. I believe I showed you the Stone Spitter.
You did.
Stone Spitter is a creature that pretty much shoots out kidney stones out of its dick at you. Mm-hmm. And then once it's out of stones, it beats you in the head.
Well, I figured I had to beat him to get the stones out.
Probably so. No, it's got it laid. It's like pissing. It doesn't like pissing. So, guess what we got now?
It's a terrible existence.
Guess what we got now?
I don't know. I need to be liberated.
Well, I will let everybody know that we're talking about this week. We're talking about episode 13, The Liberator.
The Liberator. The
And-
final on-air episode.
No, it was never aired on episode.
This episode.
This episode was
I thought
never
you said
aired.
it was next episode
No,
that wasn't
this episode was never aired.
Oh, okay. All right.
The next episode is the last episode of the season.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Collective, we're going to cry, everybody.
Right.
That's it.
Well,
Show's over.
Well, no, we got the cartoon. We've got so that's going to be a kind of a. This might be a big episode. So we need to at the end we're going to need to wrap up the whole show and what we think about it, and to kind of celebrate that. I did a little phone call, and we have the return guest of Mr. Christopher Walken. Yep, he's going to be back for that episode. Possibly in a larger. We're going to try to keep him around a little bit longer.
Fresh off his stint of doing playing Captain Hook on NBC.
NBC's Peter Pan, which 16 people watched apparently. No, I'm certain it was. It
wasn't good.
I don't know about that. I don't. It's on NBC. It's on NBC.
Well, they said the ratings were half of what The Sound of Music did.
It's NBC, and The Sound of Music when people cared about life.
Never been seen.
What are you talking about?
NBC. Never.
That's
been
true.
Seen.
That's true.
Sit with the C.
With the C. So that's the difference. Sound of Music came out when? Do you know?
1957.
Is that what it was?
It was definitely in the 50s, and it won an Oscar for Best Picture, but I don't know.
It was in color. They had that on TV on color?
Yeah.
It come out on TV like that?
No, man, that shit was in the theater, man. It won Best Picture.
Oh, then why are you
Oscar.
talking about... Wait, what are you talking about Sound of Music?
Oh, you're talking about the Carrie Underwood one. I thought you were talking about...
I don't know what you're talking about. Sound of Music's a movie that's one that's got Julie Andrews in it.
Yeah, but no. Last year at this time,
They lost me.
They did a live action version of Sound of Music starring Carrie Underwood on television, which is why they did Peter Pan this year.
Gotcha. This is the confusion. I never knew anything about that, or nor would I try. If you know what, now that you say that, I do remember hearing something about it, but like it's so thrown out of my head.
Julie Andrews' Sound of Music, for the record, 1965.
Okay,
so
65.
Way off.
Yeah, way off because I thought it was in color. The thing about it, like I said, is that I would never in my mind remember something like that, a live show that NBC did. And then you say Carrie Underwood and Sound of Music, and no. So I thought you were talking about the original Sound of Music when it came on TV. Like that was what you were like. Well, back when in 1965, Sound of Music, they didn't do as good as that. Then you know what I'm saying. So, but it is also Peter Pan, and that's a little.
Yeah. A quick update. My fantasy football team currently is losing 121-34 right now. Don't think I'm going to come back in the second half of the day.
You blew it. What about playoffs for you?
I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and exit out this window because I don't need to look at that anymore today. You'll
be punching your nuts.
I've actually already locked in my spot for the playoffs. So
It's a lock.
I didn't need to win this week, but the guy I'm playing today is the guy I have to play next week in the first round of the playoffs.
All right.
Which could be equally as bad.
All right.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully it'll pan out for you.
Yeah.
Peter Pan out for you. See what I did there?
We brought it full circle.
But yeah, NBC's junk. Let's just recap. NBC's junk. Peter Pan. Christopher Walken. He's going to be on the show.
Yep.
He's going to be on Skype, so he won't be here with us. And
not in my house.
Yeah, and he's going to be there, and so that should be interesting. He's a great actor, and he was on that as Captain Hook, which I think that's amazing that they got him for that. I'd like to have seen just his parts. I wish I could someone to hopefully edit it all out. And I could just watch Christopher Walken's parts.
He's a song and dance man.
That is true.
So.
Yeah. Classically trained, of course.
Yeah.
So this episode of the TV show, Planet Apes TV show, is called The Liberator, and we're going to get right into it, right? Okay.
Right in.
Okay, so this episode, like I said, I don't know the exact reason why it wasn't shown. I should have probably done a little bit more work, but I'm lazy to find out why it wasn't aired. Maybe there's not really an answer. But it was never officially aired.
Check the lexicon.
I don't have it with me. And they don't have it in PDF, which I've asked them to put it out in PDF. That would be very handy for a tablet or like in a Kindle type.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And they are not offering that at this moment. So that's vexing.
Rich, if you're listening still.
He's probably not still listening.
We're 21 episodes in as officially
we
this.
need it in the PDF.
So
PDF or in a Kindle format. I can't remember what those are called. So this episode is called The Liberator. And it starts off with a Guerrilla Goon squad. And they're going to talk to some villagers in the middle, of town. All the villagers are there. And the villagers tell them that they have some people that will serve them well in the mines.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So they've got some people. They look like they've been captured, and they're going to give them over to these apes, to these gorillas. And all of a sudden, one of the dudes breaks loose, starts running away from them.
And it starts playing Queen's "I Want to Be Free."
Yeah, it does. And later on, it's going to play Who Wants to Live Forever.
Yep.
Right? And so he takes off. Somehow, nobody was able to catch this dude. All right?
They're on horses.
Well, there's three. Okay, there's three gorillas, and one of the gorillas is like, "Go get him. Don't bring him back."
Yeah.
Like, go take care of him. Don't bring him back. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just let him. I guess just let him rot underneath the sun in the dirt.
Well, they don't care. They're gorillas.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, don't bring him back.
It's not near Ape Town.
Yep. So they take off on their horses, and what ensues is a chase. And this guy apparently is part cheetah or gazelle, as he's able to pretty much outrun two horses. Not plausible.
And he's also part ninja because he hides very well.
Yeah, he's got a high hide in shadows stacked. It shows our boys, and we're in luck. They have their backpacks on.
What else are they wearing? They've
got their tank tops. They've got their short shorts. Mm-hmm. They've got jazz hands.
Okay. And
they are walking down the street, and they hear the sound of they're talking
10 times a week.
Yep. Sorry. Okay, that's right. They hide. All of a sudden, they hear the sound of the horses. So they hear the sound of horses. They don't see Clem, but they hear the horses. And I say, how have these horses not caught up with Clem? Because you find out this guy they're chasing, his name's Clem.
And I want him dead because of that.
Jonathan is not a fan of the name Clem. So apologies to the 20 or 30 so Clems that are probably listening to this podcast.
We have maximum Clems.
We're going to get a lot of hate mail
Listen
now.
to the show. Well, any mail would be preferable.
Yeah, it would be good. Hey, my name's Clem. I don't like you talking like that.
Why do they have to talk like that?
Because, come on.
Well, anybody who's talking like that, probably not listening to our podcast.
Sure they are. I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan. I love me some Cornelius.
What do they download our podcast on? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Rotary phone. I don't know. So, of course, Clem he meets our boys. He runs into our boys, and they help him hide. He says he doesn't know why they're chasing him, which, of course, is a lie.
Yep. He's instantly deceitful.
Well, we'll see. He says the villagers are talking back to the apes, and they're like, we have a replacement. We've replaced this guy, okay? Mm-hmm. The two apes come back. We're like, we couldn't find him. And they said, you couldn't catch him. They're like, how do you not catch him? Which is, of course, agreed. That's what the head gorilla says. And it's funny because he's like, oh, well, it's okay. This replacement's stronger than that other one. And he's like, well, then how did you not catch him if he's weak? You know? So I thought that was kind of a clever thing. And that doesn't really make sense because we saw it didn't make sense. He should have been able to catch that dude. But so he's with the guys, and they, this Clem guy's with the boys. And the head villager dude, who you found out, his name is Brun, B-R-U-N, Brun. Okay, he tells some of the villagers to go find this Clem guy once the gorillas take their people, the new replacements, because they're gonna go work in these mines. The boys hide, but they come out when the Clem's like, oh, it's guys from the village. It's all cool, right? So they're kind of walking up to these villagers, and you got the boys, you got Galen, and they're like, well, Galen's okay, this ape's all right, no big deal. And all of a sudden, there's a guy that's kind of the leader of this squad, this group. His name's Miro, M-I-R-O, I guess.
Yeah, or Miro.
Miro. Yeah, we'll say Miro. We'll go with that. And he's like, grab these two. And the villagers all of a sudden pounce on Alan and Peter. Of course, do they go easily?
Nope. They instantly start fighting.
Of course.
You start seeing some elbows and kicks get thrown, but they're quickly overpowered.
The numbers are against them. And Galen, of course, is having a shit fit. He's like, what? These are my servants. Get your hands off of them.
Get your filthy human hands off of them.
Exactly. I'm gonna ape. I'm gonna report you. You can't do this. And so they also grab Clem, too. And...
Yeah. Clem's like, oh, I brought these two. That should suffice for me leaving. Oh, yeah, that's good. Grab him, too.
Yeah, they're like, nope, we're going to take you because what you did was wrong. And we're going to... They tell him that Brun is waiting at the temple. And they say something here. They say Master of Borak. I don't know where they brought that back up again.
I think Borak is, I guess, their town. I guess that's the village.
I guess so.
That's what I think that's supposed to be.
That's like the only time you hear it. It's like one time. So... they take Clem. The boys are not with them. They take Clem to this temple. It's made of stone, and it kind of looks like almost kind of like an Aztec temple. It almost looked like to some degree. It had kind of a neat look to it.
Like a small one.
Yeah. All the villagers are watching, and Clem is tied to a wooden cart, and he's going ape shit. He goes ape on this thing. He does not want to be there
because he knows what's coming.
Yeah, he knows what's coming. You find out that Brun, he walks out of a door, and he has a strange kind of yellow hood on and this strange mask made out of wood.
Yep. Looks like an ape's face.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Like a tribal,
almost like a moon's face too. Like if you were to put it, like a crescent moon. It's kind of like
those old figures from McDonald's.
Yes. So Brun is in a strange mask and hood. He comes out of the temple. He pulls Clem on this wooden cart into the archway of the temple. He pulls out a sword, and he says, "This is for breaking the law," and it's in pretty much the god's hands.
This is for what you done.
Yeah, this is for what you did. Is what he says. And all of a sudden, Clem just goes, and he's dead. He goes,
Nothing happened to him.
Yeah, nothing happened.
All happens. Brun said a little prayer.
I don't know why he even pulls out the sword.
Yeah, didn't need it.
And so he pulls out. He's got the sword there. He wasn't even touched. Galen has been watching this. He's with the crowd, and he's watching this, and he's completely gobsmacked at what he saw. So back to the village. What happened to Peter and Alan?
Caged.
Yep, they've been put in cages, and a cage together with leather straps around their neck. Galen shows up, and he pretty much clues them in. He's like, "Look, this is what I saw. They had this guy. I don't know what happened. They didn't touch him, and he died. They say it's their gods that did this." And I would say right here at this episode, I think it's a very cool episode. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, like I was like, "Wow, what's going on?" It's kind of a mystery. You're kind of like, well, "What are they doing? Something's going on."
Except for one thing.
What's that?
It was also right about this time we noticed. Galen's got a little bit of a B-team chip mask for this episode.
He does have a little bit of a bad
His
mask.
mouth was not moving well the
very
entire
rigid
episode.
Very rigid.
I think what happened...
Lockjaw.
Because this is my theory. If it was just applied poorly, then you would have only seen it for a couple scenes. Okay? So what I'm thinking is the A-team makeup artist who applies the mask and probably attaches it to their jaw to make it move better must have been off for this episode.
Or they ran out of something they use.
Yeah, because
they left it back in the trailer.
Good. It didn't
look great. He didn't look good. He looks very pale in this episode too. Very pasty.
Yeah,
like whatever color they used on him. So there's a attractive girl that comes and brings
Talia.
Yeah, her name's Talia. He brings them bowls of food. This actress is wretched. Absolutely garbage in this episode. I think we can both agree on that. She delivers her lines much like Mustard would, if Mustard could speak. She is terrible.
Mira, listen, please.
You're a great hunter. And she has got a huge case of the makeouts with Miro. Every time she sees this dude,
she has to drop what she has,
and she just full sprint run.
And then it's like pretty much runs with tongue out to instantly be in his waiting mouth.
Yeah, and they're just wrapping like coiled like snakes around each other. Their tongues, no lips, just tongues, just really, really
terrible.
It's really horrible to watch.
But my boy
Peter
had a little bit of an idea
he had a
when
vibe.
he saw her.
He puts out the vibe.
Yeah, he puts out the vibe. He starts trying to flirt with her.
Well, you can tell in this episode that Peter's he's looking for a little bit of strange in this episode. Like he's starting to get a little itch, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? And so yeah, Miro shows up. He calls out to her. He's like, "Talia, Zayas." No. So she runs into his arms, tells her that he only found one human on the hunt. Okay, they only found one human, and they bring this guy in. They can see that they brought a dude with them. So this is what you find out in going on this episode, because I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly where it happens in. But what you've got is a group of people in these villagers. They have to provide humans to these mines. Okay, and what's going to happen is they go and hunt these people. They call the Meadow People, which is like a other group of humans.
Yeah, rival faction.
A rival faction. They kidnap them, take them, and then because if they don't meet their quota of humans,
they have to provide them themselves from their own village.
Their own people. They kind of have like a draw system. They draw their names.
Like a lottery.
Yeah, a lottery type thing. And they lose, and so that's why they go and try to steal these people.
And they're having to work in mines, basically.
Yeah. And the mines kill you pretty quickly.
And we find out from Brun that it's 5 people twice a month for the summer months. Yeah. So we worked out that's 30 people for that season, basically, that they have to provide. So 5 people every 2 weeks, basically.
Right.
So instead of hunting for food like normal individuals, they're out hunting people.
Right. So after that thing about the hunt and Mira and Talia, it switches over to Galen, and I've got here, Galen tries to rough talk Brun.
This is the first time in the history of the show that Galen's ruses fail on
they
every
all fail.
level.
This guy's like, don't care, don't care, don't care.
Yeah, because basically Galen's like, I should have you. He's like, I should have you killed for taking my servants, and he's like, don't you even care? And Brun's like, nope.
Pan Deadface fan. He's like,
he's just leaning against the wall, like he doesn't give a shit what Galen's saying. And Galen basically asks him, why don't you care? And he's like, you're an ape. Whatever you say is going to go anyway. So if I'm going to die, there's no reason to fear it. I'm just going to die.
Yeah.
There's no way to get out of that.
Yeah, he says that it's the law that in this place. This is how it works. You know.
Yeah, basically
they can take alien humans captive if they need to.
Yep. Any human walking through their territory that's an unknown human, they can capture and deliver to their guerrilla oppressors.
And Galen's like, I refuse to accept this law. So he tries to throw his weight around, but it lands on deaf ears pretty much. And so Brun says that he didn't kill the man, that he was killed by the gods, because he asks him about it. And but he does say, Galen, we're gonna give you your own place. We've got a place for you to stay, and you're gonna be treated like an honored guest. So they still have like respect for Galen because of his apeness, but when it comes to humans and human dealings, the law is the law, and the gods have the say, I guess. So the humans come and take the new captured. Some of the hunters come and take the new captured human that they had in the cage. There was another cage beside Alan and Peter. And Miro, it's funny. This scene coming up, which I know you really perked up on. Miro, he wants Alan and Peter to go cut logs to strengthen them up. The audacity! Does he not see Alan's huge 24-inch pythons he's got? Those biceps? I mean, come on. What's going on with this guy? Peter and Alan need to be strengthened up? Is this an idiot?
He doesn't know all their feats. They've murdered sharks. They've beaten gladiators.
Shark gods.
They've beaten gladiators.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've destroyed whole areas. I mean, they've killed countless apes.
They've swam across an entire bottom of a lake while spearing fish.
A real ocean. They were in a real ocean fighting sharks.
That was a set.
So yeah, he's going to take them to cut logs. It quickly switches over to a very realistic log that they're hitting with axes.
And that log, if I had to equate a sound to it,
wiffle ball bat.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You remember when you were a kid, those huge plastic bats?
Yellow.
That you would just beat on something?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Hobos. I usually beat them on hobos.
That log was the most plastic sounding prop I ever heard in my life.
Jonathan was all about this prop log. I was more interested in their sweaty, nude upper torsos as they were shirtless.
I was interested in that.
Of course you were. So Talia, of course, is there. I've got Talia gives Miro some fierce tongue action.
I mean, yeah, once again, she's about to take them some water.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Talia. It wasn't just drop bucket and run over to him.
I need my tongue, my 5-minute tongue wrestling. Every 5 minutes, wrestling.
Yeah, dude, they're instantly fiercely making out. It's ridiculous.
So Miro says he's going on another hunt, and hopefully he'll be more successful. And she's like, "No, you're a great." Oh, I'm sorry, that was too much acting there. I was doing too good. You're a great hunter. So she's terrible. Talia tells the boys that men and women don't survive very long in the mines, and that's why they take the meadow people so they don't have to go. So she's kind of the one that tells them. She's like all in about the way that this place works.
And the women last a little bit longer than the men because they're used as servers. Yeah, cooking and serving.
Sexist.
But also, they don't last very long either.
Agreed. So Galen sneaks out of his little place that he's been staying in, and there's a guard watching Alan and Peter on their cage. I've got here Galen Solid Snakes, the guard guarding Alan and Peter, as he's in a bush and he quickly grabs the guy and the guy's out of commission, which that's pretty cool on Galen's part. And you think that he's about to free them. Up come Miro and his goons. They've been ambushed
out of nowhere.
That's vexing. So Galen is now imprisoned in his house. And he tells Brun that the apes are going to burn this place down. I'm going to burn this place down. Brun says that he'll tell the guerrillas, "Hey, look, you were trying to free the slaves. Couldn't have that happen. They need the slaves in the mines."
He's like, no ape's going to believe you over me, though.
Yeah, exactly. He's always going to throw that.
And then Brun's like, nah, they're going to believe me because I never lied to them.
Right. And ultimately what you were trying to do was stop what they need, which is these human slaves. And they don't really explain why, like what they're doing with it. You know what I mean? Like the mines and...
Yeah, they don't really explain what the mines are or what they're mining or what they're doing there. Yeah. They're just putting them in mines.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, weird. So Talia, she comes up and feeds the boys some sort of stew. And Miro shows up. He only has one human again.
Peter's still trying to put out the vibe, by the way.
Yeah, of course. He's always trying to put out the vibe with her. And so Brun's there. Brun shows up, and Miro tells him that... And you find out that Miro is Brun's son, which they didn't really... I don't think they really said that before.
No, they never really addressed that before.
And he's like... Brun says something about praying for the hunt, and he said, "Well, you should have prayed for a son that can hunt." So the real butthurt moment from Miro. He's like, "I'm a terrible hunter. You should have prayed for a son that can hunt a lot better than me." And so they've got a new guy, and he looks like Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber, in my opinion. His hair is quite wild and unkempt.
I thought he looked like Doc Brown.
A little bit,
in the future,
a little bit. And he all of a sudden breaks free of his captors, and he's able to grab one of the knives, and he stabs Miro in the arm.
Yep.
And so he's cut. Alan and Peter are like, "Hey, you better let us help with that cut or he's a goner." And Peter's like, "You better listen to Alan." Of course, once again, Alan with his healing skills. Pretty good.
That's because he's an old man. He has to know how to take care of himself.
Yeah, exactly. They have to kind of debate it a little bit, back and forth, the humans. And Alan, they finally let Alan and them go and help his arm. He uses a strap of leather to make a tourniquet. And the bleeding has stopped, supposedly. But Brun's like, "You shouldn't have done that. You should let it bleed out. Bleeding's better. I've seen men, their arms their arms swell up and then they get the fever and they're screaming, in their deaths about the fever and stuff." And Alan's like, "You got to slightly let out the leather, tourniquet.
Loosen it.
Yeah, loosen it up a little bit
Over time. And that prevents it from swelling up and him getting a fever.
Yeah, because Alan's smart. Talia explains to Miro that they will be, that she's going to take, I guess she's been chosen to be the fifth person in the next group of humans.
Yes.
And Miro's like, he tells his dad, he's like, "I want to take her place." Right? And there's something, obviously the two of them want to be married or something. It's a little bit kind of convoluted about what's going on with them. But Miro and Talia they won't be married because of this. Like he was going to, she tells him that he's going to take over this whole village. And he said, "No, I won't. I want to go in your place." And Alan and Peter want them to pretty much fight the apes. They're like, "You guys have got to fight the apes back. You got to fight back." And Miro's like, he completely freaks out. And he says it's against the way that things are. So there's this weird thing of the way that the laws are that they have and the gods. And they break the rules when they want to and not. It's kind of strange. But so Miro goes and wakes up his dad, very heavy sleeper, and says that he wants to go in Talia's place. And he says, "Look, you're the head of the village. You can change the law." And he wants Talia. And of course, that's what he wants. Miro has got a little bit of a golden tear going down his face, so a little bit of emotion out of him. And Brun will simply not grant his request. He's like, "Nope, you can't go in her place." Of course, that's his own son. He knows it was going to happen to him. Miro relieves the guard and frees Peter and Alan. It says only if you take Talia with them. And you see, now she's really in on this whole business. So she's not going to go easy. And they're like, "Look, we'll take Talia, but you got to free Galen, or no deal."
Counteroffer.
Yeah, counteroffer. Alan and Peter take care of Galen's guard. They beat his ass, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Peter does the solid snake, not as effective as Galen.
No,
because all of a sudden Peter has to yank him back. His legs fly up in the air. Quick moving Alan, grab legs, and they quickly haul him off to be like in a cartoon.
Or
they haul him off behind a wall, and you just hear the beating, beating him over.
So Talia joins them, and Talia wants to go with them, and he says, "No." This is Miro. He's like, "No." No, Talia wants Miro to go with them, and he says, "No." Which I'm like, dude, just go with them. Leave these idiots. Just go. Who cares? You got your girl, and you got you, and you got a way to escape this trash. But he doesn't go for some reason. Talia says that she wants to go. She wants to go to the temple, and she wants to die. Okay. So they say, "Look, where's the only place that humans won't go? The temple."
Yep.
So at the temple, they take a look at it. Of course, Alan and Peter have never seen it before, and they stand between the arch. And Peter's like, "Hey, I'm fine.
Yeah, nothing bad's happening at all. It's totally okay, guys. Come on." Yeah, all of a sudden he's like, "Alan, I don't feel so good." And he just tumbles over.
Yeah, he passes out.
Can't.
You see that there's a pool of bubbling rocks and liquid kind of beside the archway. Alan runs over there, picks up Peter, And he says, "Oh, there's a gas here," and Alan almost starts to KO as well. Luckily, Peter wakes up, and Peter and Alan, they see some charcoal, and they crush it up, and they make a filter with water and cloth, and they're like, we'll make a charcoal filter.
Science.
Yep. Science. Of course, while they're doing this, the hunters show up as they run into the temple door. They've got their masks, all of them, Galen, Alan, and Peter, and Talia, and they run inside the temple door. Galen's like, "Look, I don't smell any gas inside here." They also find hanging up on a hook, they find the mask that Brun used to wear, at the ceremonies, as well as his kind of hood thing. And they see a real gas mask inside this wooden hood. So they're like, it was a gas mask, that's how he's doing it. And so they find this room. They're like, "Hey, there's a light." Alan kind of spots a light. They go to this room, and inside is nothing but a bunch of... it's a room filled with these pots, like clay pots, I guess? Bottles?
Yeah.
And there's like
all sealed up.
Yeah, all sealed up, and there's a cauldron with a fire going. And they're like, "This is a place to make gas bombs," is what this is. And it's kind of a neat, you kind of realize that there's some sort of connection with the old world, maybe with this place, with this gas bomb making thing. They don't really explain much about it. It's kind of left vague.
I also don't understand how you put a fire underneath the cauldron. The fumes are going up, in theory, into kind of like this hood that's then being funneled into each of these bombs that this guy's trying to make. Well, I don't understand how the fumes aren't just all in the room.
I don't know.
Like how they are specifically just going up this thing and only there.
And they said it didn't smell.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not fantastically done. But, of course, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Brun shows up. He's in his mask. I mean, he's in his hood. He's got the mask in his hands. And he says that they defy the gods. Alan goes over and breathes through his charcoal mask, over this gas cauldron. And he's like, "Look, this is not some gods. I'm able to endure this."
Right.
Because he says that his mask he's got was given to him by was given to him for the gods, by the gods. And
that's what Brun says. Yeah.
Brun
and
says,
Alan's like, "Well, this wasn't given to you by the gods."
Check this
and
out.
He puts it over his face, and he just starts huffing fumes.
I need this for your farts, is what I need. Yeah. I need some of those.
Yeah.
I need that charcoal mix. And Brun says that he's going to take his gas and use his mask to kill the apes. So he's got this plan that he's been scheming, where he's going to take all these gas bombs. He's got his mask, he's got his tank top, he's got his short shorts, and he's going to go, and the gods have made him strong with this. He's going to go and fight the apes, and he'll make more masks for the other people. And Alan and Peter are like, "Look, nobody wins with gas and germ warfare and bombs. We've seen this.
We know how this turns out.
We know how this turns out. The apes are just going to come back and bring their own gas, their own bombs, their own short shorts, and you'll be doomed." Okay?
I don't know where my phone is.
And, so yeah, and out of nowhere, Galen, which is kind of a weird episode for Galen, really. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he grabs a stick and just beats this guy in the back of the head.
Yeah, the guy starts to turn around, and all of a sudden Galen's just like, "Yep," and then he just grabs that stick, hauls it right down to the guy's neck and side of head, and instantly knocks the guy out. And then Galen takes it a step further.
What's he do?
I don't like this bomb factory. Kick over cauldron and fire, and of course it sets the room ablaze. Yeah. In which Alan and them are like, "You moron! This whole room could explode."
They scram.
Yeah, they got to get the hell out of there.
They take Brun with them, and there's a cave out back, and I got kaboom written here. There's an explosion.
Kaboom.
Yep. There's an explosion. Brun wakes up, and he's like, "No, I've got to save the bombs." He runs back into the cave, and then I've got kablooey. As there's an even bigger explosion.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, I wish you could have heard inside. You could have heard as he's killed by this explosion. It switches over to some of the villagers. They're carrying him on some wooden sticks. His dead body. He's been obliterated. All the participants in this episode are walking beside his body, and Miro says that he plans to meet with the Meadow people to work together to fight against the apes, which I think it's interesting that this is the first time where they're like, "We're going to try to fight back against these apes." And I'm surprised Alan and Peter said, "You're probably still going to get your ass kicked by these apes." You know what I mean? You don't have really weapons or anything like that. He also says they're going to work with the men beyond the hills. So it shows you that there's they're connected to some degree with some of these other factions of humans.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he at least has the. Well, it's because Alan talked to him earlier in the episode and tried to convince him that the people could rise up and fight the apes, but they got to work together. And then that's where Miro's like, "Well, I guess I'll go talk to them."
Yeah, and he says it's their fight. It's their fight to kind of wage. And Alan and Peter and Galen, they just kind of walk away, and that's the end of the episode.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Awkward moments of your life.
It just ends.
Yep.
That's it.
So that's episode 13, The Liberator. Your views.
Yeah, it was an okay episode. I mean, there were some cool elements to it.
Yeah.
But overall,
I like it.
I didn't care for some of the people in the episode. I like the whole Temple thing.
Yeah,
she was a terrible actor, and I was tired of watching her make out with Miro every time they saw each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a schoolgirl crush. Like,
yeah, it was really
it's ridiculous. But
she's
it's an okay episode.
Miro's a cool character, I think.
For me, it's a middle of the road episode.
Well, I like it. I would put it higher up on the list of some of the other episodes. I think mainly because throughout the whole episode, it's kind of a mystery about what's happening, and they don't really have any of that. Truly, I think in any of the other episodes, where you're kind of like, there's kind of like a reveal at the end, where you're like, how is this happening? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? So I think it's a neat episode in that respect. As well, it kind of does something back with the old world with this gas bombs. I wish they would have explained a little bit more. Like, I wish at the back of that temple there would have been some sort of like military base or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they could have thrown in a little bit more old world technology with this whole episode. It didn't have to be these clay pot things.
Like clay jugs that he
could have a little bit more information. I think would have been good about, or more connection. But I like it. I think it's better than some of the other episodes. It's got some more of the stuff I like about it. But it's good. I don't think there's any more episodes, and we only got one more. And I think we've already hit the best episodes. So
and then it's all over with.
Yep, that's episode 13, The Liberator. And the last episode, which hopefully we'll get to next Saturday or Sunday, is called Up Above the World So High. And what is that reference to?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star?
Yep, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's correct. That's good. It's good. It's nice. It's nice. All right. So, what else? What else we got? We got anything on the back end?
That's all.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Really?
Just end it.
I do have to wrap it up somewhat soon. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. Because I've got to run to the folks. We spent a lot of time on the TV.
The antenna.
Specifically. 6 to 8 hours was spent on this antenna.
Not that much.
And he barely would move and it would go away. I thought I was going to see a real berserk moment. If you've ever seen the scene from the movie Wanderlust starring Jennifer Aniston and Paul Rudd, there's a man in the movie by the name of Dan Marino, right?
Ken Marino.
Ken Marino has a good freak-out moment in that scene. It's probably one of the funniest things I've seen in quite a long time. And I was ready for Jonathan to all of a sudden do his angry Ken Marino scene from Wanderlust. Highly underrated movie and recommended by me. It's a simple story. Princess.
If you'd like to see the scenes talking about, just go to YouTube and type in "Not in My Own House."
Yeah,
Ken
Not in My
Marino,
House, or
Wanderlust.
Yeah,
something along those
Wanderlust,
lines.
Ken Marino, like angry scene or something like that.
Yeah, do that.
In my own house. I love the flick. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, exactly. I don't like it. So, what else? Got anything else?
No. It's your week to pick a song.
Maybe I should pick a Cure song like it should have been last week.
No.
All right.
No, absolutely not.
All right. I'll figure something out.
But I'm trying to think if we have anything else. Anything coming up this week?
Not really.
I feel like
I got more role playing I got to do. Call of Cthulhu, Labyrinth Lord. I'm back to playing some Savage Worlds on Thursday. That's about it. Check out Mutant Epoch if you like post-apocalyptic role-playing games. Digital downloads for movies. Christopher Walken next week. It's going to be a big episode.
Yep.
As we bid a fond farewell to the TV show,
which I love.
Yep. And then we're going to move straight in the week after that into the Planet of the Apes cartoon titled "Return to the Planet of the Apes."
I'll bring my pillow.
Great. Fantastic.
Good for sleeping.
No. The best thing to do is just to go into it and just rip it a new one, and it's going to make for some exciting episodes of Go Ape Podcast. Okay? So we're going to do a little bit of shout-outs right now. We got Jared Blando. He's a big fan. We've got Joe Grimm, of course. We've got Robert Womack, goes by Trey, nickname.
Okay.
These are some of the top listeners, and I actually sat down with Jared Blando and Joe Grimm, and it was pretty much a mini Go Ape convention. One of the first. It was the first Go Ape convention. There should be many more after this. It'll be an annual thing.
What the badges look like for that con?
They were pretty good.
Okay.
Well, Jared drew them, and they look pretty good.
Well, okay, if Jared drew them, then I'm on board.
He did draw on my map.
You know, we need to be honest, okay? If Jared Blando, if you're listening right now,
he's gonna listen.
Jared,
he loves it.
You should do us a solid so we don't get sued by 20th Century Fox and just draw us a couple apes with like headphones on, talking into a mic.
That would be good.
You know, something that we can use as our new logo for the show. So, Jared, if you're listening, that's my challenge to you. Of course, it has to be free because we are poor.
Very poor.
But
Jared's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great artist too. So.
He's a cartographer. He works for role playing. Works for drawing role playing game maps and.
If you open up a book with a lot of intricate scrolling and things like that on the maps, it's probably Jared's work.
So that's Jared. You've got Joe Grimm. He's decent in his own right.
Yeah, and Joe Grimm, unbeknownst to him, will be taking over for me while I sleep through the cartoons.
Return to the Planet of the Apes.
And he can do the podcast with you.
You're going to miss out on Pueblos.
We do need some suggestions of where to go once we're done with this.
Monster Bird. Well, Jared says we need to do the
Star Trek,
the original series,
which I'm totally fine with.
You own those, correct?
I do not, but they're all on Netflix.
Do you own those?
They're all on Netflix.
Do you own those?
I do not. I just said.
How many episodes is that though?
It's a lot. I want to say like 80 something or 90.
No. There. The answer is no. 80 episodes?
Well, I mean,
like 4 times the size of. Whoa. No, we've done what, 20? We'll have at the end of this. We'll have about 35. So almost twice as many.
Well, we got to keep going.
What about we just do Go Ape Nerds and we just talk about our normal nerd stuff and not without a focus? I don't know if we'd be able to carry it for an hour. We get pretty boring after a while.
Well, maybe we should
have some sort of focus.
Maybe we should do a season of Star Trek then.
I guess so.
We could do a season of the Batman 66 Batman show because I just got it on Blu-ray.
How many episodes is that?
120.
That's even worse.
But if you consider the fact that each episode's really an hour, it's only 60 episodes.
Why don't we do? Okay. Go Ape Nerds, and we'll just choose movies like groups of movies that we like. So it doesn't have to be like a big long thing. So, hear me out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. We can watch all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
I'm down with that.
And then after we're done with that, we can move on to the original like Star Trek movies.
And and then we could do the Back to the Future movies, and then the reboots when they come out, we'll go see them in the theater.
That's true. Karate Kid. We'll do the Jonathan's having a freak out. We'll do the new Jackie Chan. What's that kid's name? What's that turd's kid?
Smith. Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith. We'll do that, and if we have time, we'll do the originals with Rafael Macchio.
What about
I Hate Your Phone?
What about Hilary Swank? Are we going to watch the Hilary Swank?
Of course,
one?
she's an award winner. She's an Academy Award winner.
Two-time. Is that considered part of the original, or is that really the second series and Jaden Smith was the third?
Correct. It is that. So we can do that. That's what I'm thinking we should do. Even though I like the idea of it, I think that it's going to be fun to say what's going to be the next series of movies that we're going to talk about. Because I do enjoy when we do movies because the episodes tend to be a little bit bigger. We can kind of jump around with them a little bit, and a lot of those movies people have already seen. So I know we've spoiled a lot of stuff on this, but we can do Back to the Future. We can do Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Just one Ghostbusters 1 and 2. You can talk about the cartoon.
I've got the first season of the cartoon.
We can spend about 4 or 5 episodes just on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 when they go back in time, which is, in my opinion, the most superior of the Teenage Mutant.
Get out of my house. Get out. Just get out.
It's garbage. What do you think?
What are we going to do when we get to the new Turtles movie?
Well, you're going to own it soon, and we're going to watch it.
I'm not going to own that movie.
I thought you were a Turtles fan.
I'm not buying that, dude.
You're a liar, then.
It's not a good movie.
And a thief. We could do Conan movies. I think this is a win. What do you think?
Well, it's up to the listeners.
Well,
if anybody wants to chime in, your opinions are appreciated.
Yeah. Do you think we should just...
So are we changing the name of the podcast,
No.
or is it still Go Ape Podcast?
Just Go Ape Podcast. Yeah. We don't need to change the name at all.
Do we still need to be Apes? Maybe we need to have Jared recommission that picture.
Well, no, we can still have the apes with him, with the microphone, and us wearing tank tops, wearing short shorts. we've got our headsets on. Your phone's going on crazy. There's dogs looking through the window trying to see us do it.
Well, you really got an intricate picture drawn out for him.
Jared, make sure I'm very muscular in the drawing, as is normal.
Jared, please keep the proportions.
I want to be extremely muscled.
I
want to be extremely muscled.
I want to be very fat in a Hawaiian shirt. An ape in a Hawaiian shirt.
Very muscled. And maybe flowing gold locks for me, if you could make that. I want to be a tan god, a tan bronze god. So that'll be Go Ape Podcast.
Make sure the hair on his ape is really thinning out on top.
Well, this is you want to speak. You got more hair on your chin than you do on top of your head. So
we'll see how it is when I don't cut it for 6 months.
What we've said is that Go Ape can be for so many different things. So why don't we just make Go Ape be
exactly
whatever?
Great idea I've had.
You son of a bitch.
Well,
I did come up with the name of this podcast just so everybody knows.
The listeners heard it here first.
So yeah, we can do Marvel movies. This can go on indefinitely now with the amount of choices we have. And
with the amount of Marvel movies that they've announced.
Maybe we'll get more listeners because people might not like Planet of the Apes or listen to Alan Peter or the cartoon or whatever the case may be.
Well, they'll never get through the first 22 episodes or 35 episodes.
Well, you never know. They might love our charisma so much. I've got a charisma of roughly 19. Yours is about 8. That's okay. And so they'll see that we're doing the Avengers.
My constitution's like a 20, though.
Yeah, we're doing Avengers 2, because by that time we do those, it'll be long down the road. We're doing Avengers 2. We're doing Captain America thrice. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be all these different movies we can hit. And then Turtles, maybe...
We could do the Boondock Saints movies.
Yeah, we could do that. First one's good. Second one's not so good. And so we'll have some good
Second one's good.
We'll have some good laughs at that.
I want to tell our listeners right now, in all seriousness, I would say...
You're not being serious?
The discussion of Boondock Saints 2 between the two of us...
We're not going to have it.
Between the two of us was real close to us, like, destroying our friendship. Wasn't it? Like, we had a...
I was about to go tell you to fuck yourself.
You and I got into a legitimate huge fight over that movie.
The only thing I'm going to ever say about this, the reason we did was because I was supposed to like it. So it's not I didn't like it. I hate it because it was you were supposed to like this movie, which is just a flawed discussion in my opinion. Oh, I'm supposed to like the movie? Now you know what's inside my head, but that's Boondock Saints too. It's well known that it's a stinker. Guess what else we're gonna do? Hudson Hawk.
We should do Hudson Hawk. It's a treasure. It's a national treasure.
Guys, I want to let you guys know that are out there listening to this. This is December 7th.
Correct.
2014. You've just seen the evolution of Go Ape Podcast. It's blowing up bigger, just huge compared to the way it was.
More celebrities.
More celebrities.
We're going to do all the Star Wars films.
We got Frank Oz coming
all
for those.
All 6 Star Wars films.
Frank Oz is going to be here doing his Yoda for those. I've got John Wayne still alive and living. I've got him. I've got...
We're going to do all the Muppet movies. I'm digging up Jim Henson's corpse.
Christian Slater's going to be on.
Cuffs.
Bobby De Niro. Perry Caravello's going to be on an episode. This is going huge, guys.
We're going global.
Yep.
We've been universal, but now we're just going global.
Prestige worldwide is what we've done.
Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes. So, there's going to be a song coming on. I'm super hyped. Are you hyped?
I'm hyped.
Go Ape. There's a song. There it is. I like it.
It's a good one. You made a good choice.
Of course. I always make good choices.
You can find me on Twitter at Ape Randall.
You can find me at Savage GM.
And you can find us on iTunes at Go Ape Podcast. So until next time, Brandon, go Ape.
Go Ape, Jonathan.
Go Ape.
Fuck.